announcement. I'm working with a team at the San Francisco Department of Public Health as a consultant on weight stigma and weight neutrality.
The person's name is Virgie Tovar, author of this book, You Have the Right to Remain Fat, and other published works on fat positivity. So this person is an online influencer with more than 84,000 followers. Tovar, who announced her new consulting gig on her Instagram page, criticized the American Medical Association for classifying obesity as a disease back in 2013.
I couldn't even guess what her actual job with the Department of Public Health would entail. But let's learn a little bit about Virgie and what she thinks, from her own words.
Diets.
From her own words.
Diets and diet culture could not exist without fat phobia. So what is fat phobia? A form of bigotry that says that fat people are inferior, bad, and ugly. A lot of people don't realize that fat phobia is a form of bigotry. We kind of think that our attitudes towards fat people are based on concerns about health. Fat people.
That is not the definition of fat phobia. Any phobia is a fear. I don't think generally people fear fat folks. See how they trying to rewrite history and change definitions of things, or just quite frankly making up things. Phobia, look it up, is a fear. People say homophobic. No one's scared of homosexual people. No one's scared, but yeah.
People actually have less access to meaningful participation in society. I never thought to blame fat phobia, the bigotry ideology that positions fat people as inferior. I only ever blamed myself.
Fat phobia is an actual legitimate form of discrimination. It aligns with other types of discrimination, like around race or gender or any number of marginalized identities. Our current cultural attitude is that the solution to fat phobia is for fat people to become thin people.
I am one of the many.
And so they try to, people of this ilk try to equate fat with gender and race and things of that nature. Your weight is 100% something that you can control. Period, point blank. No genetics. It doesn't have anything to do with genetics or anything like that. You can say genetics, but if you have fat parents and you brought up in a fat household, guess what? You're gonna take on their habits and eat and do this, that, and the other. No one genetically is fat and unhealthy and nasty and things of that nature. Genetically, that's not the case. Now, there's health issues that you might be born with. You come with some flaws just like every other human. But fat, you're not predisposed to being fat. It's just not true.
Many plus size people and people of color who didn't get the eating disorder diagnosis or treatment that they needed.
Notice how they put it. Plus size people and people of color, like those things are equivalent. Those things are not equivalent. You came out a chubby baby, but over time, your body worked itself out until you got into your household family habits. You came out a person of color, but over time, you continue to be a person of color. What she's saying equivocates to if you come out a person of color, if you're mixed and your mom is white, genetically over time you're gonna turn white if you have a certain tint to your skin. That's what she's trying to say. That does not happen.
because of things like bias inherent to the way that eating disorders are diagnosed currently.
There's a lot of ways in which thinness and fitness become a stand-in for whiteness and masculinity and heterosexuality.
Holy moly. If you're confused by all this, don't worry. I am too. It seems Virgie here is desperate to include fat people as a victimized group. Personally, I think fat people should be added to the 2025 edition of the gay flag. Maybe that will be what Virgie works on at her new job. Let's leave it with the ladies of Newsmax to give us another, more clear perspective.
I'm not trying to be mean,
Yeah.
but obesity can lead to so many issues. We need to stop promoting it. Heart health issues, thyroid issues. This is not a healthy lifestyle. Now, they've hired somebody to basically shame anybody for saying, not a healthy look.
Yeah, there should not be body shaming for anyone, but obesity is a problem, especially among children. And I think, people, whether they be politicians or leaders, need to focus more on that and keep our kids healthy. They've got diabetes, they're getting cancer, they're getting all these diseases. San Francisco's got some problems of their own with homelessness and crime and drugs. Maybe they should be focusing a little bit more on that.
So why is this even a thing? I know why it's a thing. It's obviously society that we live in today is that people care too much about people's feelings. I don't. Now, I'm not saying I'm just going to go up to no fat person and be like, you fucking fat. You need to lose weight. It don't have nothing to do with genetics. You need to stop eating, push away from the table, go do exercise. No. Because, again, that's just mean. That's just rude. Most people are not going to do that. But when you outrightly do stuff like this and making up stuff, quite frankly, lying about stuff and telling people it's okay to be unhealthy because if you're overweight, if you're obese, you're unhealthy. This has nothing to do with skinny people, because someone will say, well, skinny people can be unhealthy. Yes, this is true. But I guarantee you, 10 skinny people side by side with 10 fat people, 8 out of those 10 fat people are probably gonna pass away before those 10 skinny people do. So this outward promotion of being fat and healthy and the fact, I'm not surprised. This is San Francisco. I'm not surprised that they would put something like this out there. They are so hyper progressive out in San Francisco, out in California. California is another country in itself. That is a whole nother world. California just need to take their geography, like on their border with Nevada in those states, just take that little geography, push it slightly off into the ocean, and they can take their constitution and all their laws and all this stuff and just float off into somewhere else. Because when California does things, it seems like a lot of other important states follow what California does. And California, as a people, as a whole, and this is not the whole population, but their policies and their government are so hyper over progressive is that is just to the point of ridiculousness. Now, that being said, lived in the state of California for more than 4 years. Love it. Beautiful weather. Awesome scenery. All the people I met in California were weird as hell. Every single one of them. And none of them were from California. They just took on the California personality, persona, way of life, this, that, and the other. But just a wonderful place to visit. Wouldn't want to live there. Would never live there. But if you're on Facebook, Go ahead and like this video, comment on this video, share this video if you like. If you on the YouTube, go ahead and search Mr. Info Space 5000 spelled out FIVETHOUSAND. Peace.